Ralph. First of all, good morning to everyone in Manitoba. You said what time is it? 8:10?
7.
Okay, I'm impressed. Good morning. Thank you for being with us. It's better that we do it now than in our morning, because that would be the middle of the night for you. And good afternoon to everyone here. You know, this is really special for so many reasons. And I want to start with the Schindelmans. I had the pleasure of meeting Robert and Sandy just over a year ago when they came with the Prime Minister of Canada and a really large delegation. And we had a great time. We spent a lot of time together. They were a lot of fun, really interesting. And by the end of the Prime Minister's trip, had caught the spirit. And we're very enthused about really developing ties and finding ways to connect, not just on a kind of emotional level with Israel, ways to connect people in Canada to people in Israel. And there are so many meaningful ways to do that. And agriculture, soon after meeting Robert and Sandy, I was introduced to Brother Daniel, who lives in Geneva, who's been here several times. And we've been talking a lot about ways in which we may enhance agricultural cooperation and all sorts of related ventures. I've just had the pleasure of meeting the mayor of your Twin City, or almost to be Twin City, and his colleagues. I am going to be visiting his town, sadly to say, before I get to Portage. And I'm delighted to report back. I've looked at photos, it's beautiful. I'm just not going there in the summer either, because it's not for me. I'm a Canadian girl. I think that something like this, the signing of an agreement, I mean, obviously it's symbolic, but it's much more than that, because it does create, you know, there's so much to do where you are, but it creates a point of contact and the development of initial relationships and ties. And I really do believe that from those person-to-person contacts, we can develop wonderful initiatives. And I hope that next year and in the years coming, we will not only visit Portage, but that all you folks there and more will come here and really turn this relationship into something that doesn't just speak to the ties, but we're actually going to have something tangible to show and some real agricultural and development projects. So thank you to the Schindelmans for being the catalysts for this, and to you for your interest and for being up so early and suited and tied on a Friday morning. As we say in Israel, kol hakavod, lots of respect. And thank you all for being here too. I appreciate you coming all this way.
Thank you. Thank you. Then allow me just to step over to the other side so you can see me as well as have a voice.
We're almost 40
minutes. Yes,
we didn't do this deliberately.
I'll stand over here with the blue shirts.
Well, as the two mayors know, when I visited Valley of the Springs in January of this year, and I had the pleasure of meeting Zion and others with the Eden Research Center, I walked outside and I thought to myself, I could be in Portage or Prairie. Because the things that we had discussed about, the agricultural concepts and the growing and the seasons, and also the recreational aspects in terms of the trails that you have, Portage being near Delta Marsh, and the importance of birds. Here, Valley of Springs is on a migratory path for birds that travel from Europe to Asia and return each year annually. And also, of course, near Portage, the waterfall is a very important part of the landscape there. So it seemed to me that just in terms of similarities, you have what it takes to attract. But also it seemed to me in terms of the similarities, and if I may follow up on your comments, Ambassador, you also have to be complementary. And here I thought that it was very much complementary. In Portage, you have the Portage Food Center, which is developing foods, taking the output of the agricultural product and taking it further to put it on our tables. Whereas at the Research Center, you're working with different companies to develop and improve the agriculture, different crops, different seeds. So it seemed to me that it was a continuation of the same spectrum and very much complementary and continuing. So we hope that while it is a symbolic sister city arrangement, we hope that it's a very meaningful one. And certainly I, as an individual, would hope to actively come and see each of you and pursue the matters much further. I think agriculture is a mainstay of each of the region, and so we would hope to explore that further. But frankly, in a nutshell, Portage has land, has the most number, and I have to really put this in a picture because when I grew up, there was East and Western Canada. It's still probably the same. So let me put a picture for the West to say that we have the most number of, or the most amount of sunshine during the summer months of any place in Canada.
And how do you define something?
Let's not talk about that. Great. So, anyway, welcome. There's much to do, and it's a great opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay. So, first of all, thank you very much for you, Mayor, of our new sister. It's a pleasure to meet you in this system, and thank you for you, Ambassador, to the children about the idea, special idea. Actually, we are very similar, despite except the temperature, a little bit different, but I think we have the same population, the same advantage, and the same agriculture and tourism area that surrounded the region council. We are very happy to start the new sister cooperation, and we think they can give a lot of challenge together to a better future and a better relationship between Israel and Canada. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I invite you to come to visit Israel and the region, our Valley of Springs. It's a wonderful area, and it will be an honor for us to host you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Ferris.
Thank you, and good morning. First of all, I was a little bit remiss at not introducing our guests this morning, so I'd like to just take a moment to introduce them. I have Councillor Liz Dreger on my side here. She heads up Economic Development for Council. This side here, I have Councillor Wayne Wall, and he's in charge of Waterworks and a number of other things in Portage. And behind me is Mr. Dave Omachinsky. He's head of the Chamber of Commerce and also the president of the Portage Credit Union. And directly behind me is Douglas Burrell. He's head of PRED, which is our economic development agency here in Portage, and he's doing a lot of work for us in that area. And finally, on my extreme left is Jean-Marc Nadeau. He is our city manager, and he's played a significant role in helping us bring this together also. First of all, I want to start off by acknowledging and thanking Daniel Schindelman. I believe Daniel and I first talked way back in January when the weather was much different here, and I was struck by what he said as far as your community reminding him of Portage. Daniel was raised and educated in Portage. His family had deep business ties in the community, and him and his brothers have never forgotten their roots. They still view Portage as home. This is their hometown, and we appreciate very much his keeping an eye out for opportunities for us to develop new relationships and new friendships. I do believe this agreement, although symbolic, is historic in many ways. There's an old saying that you can never have too many friends, and I feel like that we've gained a new friend today, and that's a very good feeling. Obviously, as some other speakers have mentioned, we have a number of things in common. We certainly have the potential to deepen our relationship, not just economically, but many other ways also. So I'm very, very pleased to be taking part in this on behalf of our community. I see a lot of benefits, and I too, Mayor, wish to extend the invitation for you. We would love for you to visit here any time of the year, although I would recommend spring or summer. We would love to meet you in person. Looking forward to that. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mayor Ferris. Now, if I could invite both mayors to first, Mayor, to take a seat, and then to sign the agreement in both English and in Hebrew. Pardon-moi. Please have a seat here. Yes.
Ambassador?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Or Daniel.
Ambassador. Well, the yellows will stick together. It's
All
okay.
right. Thank you. I will supervise the signing.
So. Go ahead, Tim.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Great.
Excellent.
We have paparazzi here.
We do. We have lots.
Listen, I just want you to know, I want to just kind of jump in for a moment to your comment about how the Schindelmans have not forgotten their roots. I have been under unrelenting pressure to get a direct flight from Tel Aviv to Portage on Air Canada, and I will do it.
Excellent. We look forward to it.
When it happens, then you have no excuses.
And then we can take a regional character into Delta.
Yes. Great. Thank you very much. I think before we adjourn, Danny, you had a presentation you wanted to make, I think.
Too bad you're not here to join me. We have some lovely cakes, some drinks. We'll do a good show for you when you show up.
I'll get a picture of the cakes and
I believe, Mayor Ferris, you have one of these. It's a plaque to commemorate the Sister City signing. It reads, Sister Cities, Portage, Prairie, and Valley of Springs, in commemoration of the signing of the Sister City Agreement between Portage, Prairie, Manitoba, Canada, and Valley of Springs Regional Council, Israel, on May 1st, 2015. The concept is to realize possibilities through innovation partnership and pursuing global markets. We look very much forward to it. Yeah, Prairie.
Lovely.
And also, we'd like to extend in particular to
we'll be right with you.
yeah, exactly, coming.
We have a lot of photographers. We have no practices for this.
To you, to the Eden Research Council, because of course it's a very important part of the future cooperation between the cities. I have a second one for the city, and this is for you, for the embassy.
Thank you. Lovely touch. Very nice. We get a photo? Of course. Yes.
Thank you. I would like to give you, this is folder and information about the area.
Which looks beautiful.
Yeah, then one for you and one. And this is, this is in Hebrew, but and all of the entrance to the Valley of Springs, we have this, yes, you know, it's very unique. You can see the view through it, yes. We have big, about 5 entrances to all the region council, and each of our communities and tourist spot we have the same with the name and with the details. It's Emayanos, Valley of Springs, and I will give the mayor when he will come to visit us.
Good.
Another one, or maybe Daniel will.
Maybe we'll even send him one.
Yeah. The best. Okay, so
Thank you. Okay.
Daniel will send.
Great. Hold on.
Thank you very much.
Wait a minute.
Like this.
Ah, okay, right. I was reading it. Lovely.
Thank you. Mayor Ferris, before we leave you and your colleagues, any words to conclude with?
I just want to acknowledge the beautiful plaque that we have here, and this will go in a very prominent place in our city hall. So when you come to Portage, you will see it. All of our citizens will be able to see it. So thank you very much for that. I don't think I have much further to add at this point in time. We do look forward to moving this agreement ahead. Daniel and I have had a couple of discussions about how this might look, and there are a number of opportunities in the coming weeks and months. So we will be talking to you again in the near future, and we do look forward to meeting you in person sooner rather than later.
We're ready.
Sandy?
Thank you very much.
Sandy?
As Mayor Ferris said, and Davo Machinsky, who I went to school with, I didn't go that often, but he and our colleagues, I would just like to say that Portage, it's always home. You know, we're 60 miles away, but it's home. And we're just going to ask Vivian to get the
What now?
Royal Bank Cup carried on television here, which is going to be held in Portage in 2 weeks, I guess, and for junior hockey. And maybe you guys will get a team, so that'll be great.
Yeah, we're all over it. We're all over it.
Yes.
We could-
See, it never stops. It never stops.
And we intend to bring all kinds of business to Portage Prairie, both Israel and from anywhere else that we get to travel. And thank you.
Good.
One more very important point. Ralph and I are both avid swimmers and have been for decades, and we were briefed yesterday evening. We had the Schindelmans as guests over in the evening, and we had a really interesting briefing on the Schindelman pool,
Yes.
which I understand is kept at a nice 26 degrees.
It is, and I can also tell you that is the largest wave pool in Manitoba. We did that project about 6 years ago, and you know, the Schindelman family were very supportive, and we would invite you to come and enjoy the largest wave pool in Manitoba.
All right, well, we'll be there for the laps, okay? I'll watch the waves. But it was great to hear, actually, because you know what? Not every small town, I hope, you know, has a resource like that. And it's a wonderful thing to have. And being a swimmer, I think it really does enhance people's lives. And I'm thrilled to hear that it's heated, because you need it most of the year, right?
We use it all year.
I look forward to visiting you one of these days, but I hope you guys, you all make it here first. It's beautiful. You will find it inspiring in so many levels, and I highly recommend it during your winter.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being
Thank
here
you very
today.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna.